and it's easy to.
What is App Exchange? Okay. So Navjot says no, I do not have an idea. App Exchange is a custom built app on force.com platform. Okay. Okay. You know what is a Google Play or iPhone Store or iTunes
That's
Store?
again the place where we can.
There's something called iTunes Store also, no? Not sure. iPhone Store. And then we have Google Play. We know these things, right? So what is that? What is Google Play? Marketplace for Android apps. So in case you are using an Android phone and you need an application for Android which works on your Android phone, then Google Play is the place. iPhone Store, marketplace for iPhone apps, right? iOS apps. Right? So marketplace means this is the place where all these apps are on sale. Some of them can be available free as well. The others one, like, you know, I am not very much familiar with the iPhone thing, but I am pretty familiar with the Google Play thing. I use Android. So now this Google Play is a marketplace which has been created by Google. So any app which has been developed for Android mobiles are put in there. Okay, and it's kind of an open source, so anyone can actually start developing on Android and they can start putting their app on this platform, right, on the Google Play. So this is the marketplace where you put your apps for sale. If you have developed an app, you can put it for sale on the Google Play. Same thing works for iPhone Store, right? So this is the place where you will find those apps. Same way, App Exchange is the marketplace for Salesforce apps. The force.com design, the ones which have been designed on the force.com platform. Okay. So this is our App Exchange. All right. So why are we talking about App Exchange? Because App Exchange is more than what we just think about it. Now when I say App Exchange is the marketplace for these apps, what is the utility of App Exchange for us? How can we use App Exchange, and how can we make App Exchange help us in getting into a job, or how do we clear our interview with the help of App Exchange, right? So let's look into App Exchange from a different perspective. App Exchange is very useful for any company which does not want to develop the app, they just want to buy it. Like for example, for you, why would you use a Google Play or iPhone Store? If you have a phone, you want an app, you just go to that app, just go to Google Play, search for that app and then install it, right? That can be a free app, that can be a paid app, whatever it is, you will just take it. Okay. Same way App Exchange is there. Any company which requires an app and they do not want to build the app, or they do not have the capability, or they do not have the time to build that app, every time the company would not start designing the app on their own, right? So most of the times they think of a ready-made app and they just take it and start using it. Okay. And the other option that a company has is definitely hire a team of developers and start developing their own app, or outsource the job to a consulting company, get your app developed and all that stuff. So that is there. Now the point is that we have understood that App Exchange perspective from the customer's point of view. Now let's understand how App Exchange is helpful to us, people who are learning development. This is the place where you can have large number of scenarios. So you will have a lot of scenarios here for your apps from different industries. Yeah. So you will have a lot of scenarios here, right? So you'll have a huge number of apps here. How are you going to use those apps? You use them for concepts, getting the concepts. Okay. Like I think Cecily was talking about the recruiting and staffing app. Okay, so what kind of features can be put into a Salesforce app if we are talking about a recruiting business or a staffing business? Now, if you start thinking on that, that will take you a lot of time. So instead of you putting a lot of time and effort into thinking everything right from the scratch, go and take help of App Exchange. All right.
Jeet, I had a comment. I don't know if I'm thinking right. But when we look at the apps on the App Exchange, we also need to see in that particular domain that the apps are offering, different apps are offering us different features, right? So when you talk about the concepts, is that how we relate to what we want, what features we are looking at, add-on features?
No. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, think of it. You want to put three projects. I'm talking from your perspective. Okay, let's say I am someone who has just completed Salesforce training. Okay, and I have been asked to put 2-3 years of experience in my resume. For putting 2-3 years of experience, I need to put 2 or 3 projects. Okay, then you managed to put a project. You thought, okay, fine, let me put a project of restaurant management. Okay, all right. Now, when we were talking to Parthesh, though he has worked on the restaurant thing, he has actually been running a restaurant, but the moment he starts thinking of how Salesforce can be helpful for restaurants, he cannot think of too many things, right? This is where he should go and start taking help from an App Exchange app. Okay, so every app will have different features, but overall they will be pointing towards the same kind of thing, right? So I do not say that if there are 50 apps related to recruiting, you have to take features from all of them. Take the main features, what all things you feel are really good and helpful, and then you can start talking on those features. So we are not going to talk about the app, we are going to talk about our project, but the features. Let's say, for an example, we have a candidate here, Cecily. Okay, you mentioned in your resume that I have designed a recruiting app. Now, once you come for the interview, I'll definitely ask you that what was your recruiting app doing? How many objects did you have? What were the features that you embedded into that? I will ask these questions, right? So instead of you thinking a lot on this, take help from the App Exchange app. Okay, now you use your job science. Yeah, here we are. This is what we are. Go to the HR apps, or you can take a talk of industry. Industry wise, it's not there. So this is a recruiting app. You can look into this. Job science staffing. There is a job science recruiting app as well, I guess. Now you can click on this and get the basic features. What basic features can be there in a staffing app that you can get from here. So this will give you good concept, because already someone has spent a lot of time in conceptualization of these apps. I'm talking about the functional requirements, right? So basically, what can be the requirement of the customer? I should be talking something which makes sense to the customers, right? I should not be talking about, I should be talking something which makes actually sense to the business. I should not be talking about that app in a way that, okay, fine, I created a workflow which used to automatically send emails to the managers. Something like that, instead of I making my own story which may or may not be correct or may not be helpful, let me talk about things which make sense to this business, right? So applicant tracking, okay. Drive growth with 360-degree this thing and all that stuff. So okay, fine, this is the kind of thing that we design. You can actually go into the value proposition that, okay, you will get an idea what things were really helpful in this app. Now take the concepts, steal the concepts from here and talk of that as of your project. So don't say that we were using job science, because job science is something which anyone can use. It's just a paid application, right? Anyone can buy and use. During the interview in your resume, talk about that, okay, we designed a recruiting app which had these features. Are we all clear what we are trying to do here?
But Jeet, when we say we designed a recruiting app,
So
that's because if I go in as an admin, I'm not doing that, right?
okay, so that's
I'm using the app, right?
yes, absolutely correct. So if you go in as an admin, yesterday I think that is what we were discussing, that if you want to apply as an admin, then I mean there is nothing that you have to worry about. What we are talking here is about functional consultant and developer, and these concepts and all these things. For admin, it's pretty transactional. Then you should just know. Huh, yes.
I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I got you. So this is more as from a developer's perspective.
Developer or a functional consultant. Like, okay, functional consultant being asked that, okay, what kind of a solution did you propose? Then you can talk of these are the value propositions that I came up with and all that stuff, right? But for
Yes, that's
admin,
right.
we just need to be good in transactional stuff. That's fine.
That's right. Yeah.
And all these concepts and all are either for developers or for functional consultants.
Okay.
Okay, so others are clear on this? Anyone has a question? So now your job will be, we are gonna make, we are gonna think of a few projects, and I will ask you to work on those projects. Okay. So now my next question before we start discussing on the projects thing, what is a data model? Do we know what's a data model? Data structure or data model?
Is it referring to what kind of data will
database you have at the back?
Yeah, database is coming into will have to store on the Salesforce platform.
Right. So whatever app we are talking about in Salesforce, it can be a recruiting app, it can be a marketing app, it can be a sales app, it can be employee management, it can be my sales management, vendor management, whatever. The base of everything is data. Vendor management, vendors are being managed. Employee management, employees being managed. Employees time of management, what all leaves the employee has taken, those things are being managed. So data is there in every app, right? Whatever concept you think of any concept and you will find that there is data involved in that. Okay. So because every app has data involved into it, then this app exchange thing, not app exchange, the Salesforce app needs to have a database in the backend. Okay, sales, marketing, HR, vendor, whichever app, finance app, database needs to be there, right? So before you start designing an app, first thing which happens is you come up with a data model, right? So this is again, from the point of view of a functional consultant or a developer. So we are actually, talking on designing of application, which either a functional consultant will do or a developer will do, right? So data model is the first concept. Okay, let's say, we will discuss about a small scenario. Let's say I have a client. This client comes to me and says, hey, you know what, we have been doing our CRM thing on Salesforce and it works absolutely fine, and we are very happy with Salesforce, the way things are being managed. We want to manage our projects also on Salesforce. Is there a way it can be done? So the client comes to me and says that we have been managing our sales and marketing on Salesforce and it is working absolutely fine. Somehow we feel that we need to start managing our projects also on Salesforce. They might want to manage their projects. So they want us to design a project management app. Simple. Let's now take this small scenario and start thinking of what kind of an app will be required for project management. Okay. So first thing that you do should be open an Excel spreadsheet. Start with this and then try to figure out what all data they need to maintain actually. All right. So, and keep on listing all those tables and fields in that Excel spreadsheet. Before you get into Salesforce, before you start designing apps and everything, this is the first thing that you should do. Okay, and this is for your learning. No one is going to ask you that how do you design an application? Do you start with an Excel spreadsheet or do you start with a Microsoft Word? No one is going to ask you this in the interview. But this is how you should start. This is for your understanding and for learning. If you take this approach, you can design the most complex app on this world, right? With pretty much easy approach. So my project management is something that I need to design, right? So first thing that I need to track in the project management app is the projects. The projects need to be tracked. Okay. So write the projects here. Now here I will write the fields which are required, which will be there in this project's object. Okay. There can be an ID of the project, there can be a name of the project, start date of the project, priority of the project, expected end date, and then status, is it in progress, complete, not yet started, right? Okay. And then there can be a client, the project we have got from which client. Okay, so object name, list down all the fields. You can think of more fields, you might have more fields, you might have more requirements depending on the kind of business that you are into. Put those requirements, the fields and the field types here. List all the field types here. ID can be an auto number, project name can be a text. So these data types should only be the ones which are available in Salesforce. So when you create a field, you see the data types, right? Start date will be a date field, priority can be a pick list, status will also be a pick list, end date will be date, client will be a lookup. Okay. So first object is done. I've already thought of first object, right? Second will be the clients. So for client, again, I need an ID. Okay, this ID field is by default there in Salesforce. I think you are aware of that, right? Every object has an ID field. I am adding into this thing, this ID field because any object that you design in Salesforce or anywhere, wherever you are talking about database, outside Salesforce, within Salesforce, every record should have a unique ID. Name does not work as a unique ID. So for that reason, within Salesforce, outside Salesforce, try to have a unique ID for everything, whatever data you are talking about. So ID is a must. So let's say we have this ID, name, client name, then we can have city, state, country, industry of the client, which industry they are into, their revenue, and this ways you can have a lot of other fields, right? So the same thing, this will be okay, this can also be text, city can be text, state, country can be a pick list, and this can be pick list, and this can be currency. So second object is done, right? What other object we will need for this project management app? Anyone who can think of any other objects that we need? Apart from projects and clients, what other object do we need? Let's say consultants. Who is working on which project? Okay, so for consultant again you need an ID, you need a first name, you need a last name, you need an email ID, the phone, the fax. Okay, and you can have a project lead field here, which can be a lookup with consultant. Who's leading which project, right?
And Jeet, anything to do with contracts?
You can have. Contracts, I think you will have the contracts with the client. So which client, start date of the contract, end date of the contract. So what all needs to be tracked? Everything has to come here. You have to list down all those things here. Apart from this, what else?
Job, do we have to give the job?
Yeah, what is that? Tasks or jobs? Jobs. Why jobs? This is a project management app, right? So in the project, then we can have subs, tasks or activities.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe job or task, whatever we call it. So this task should have an ID and which project's task it is and which consultant is working on it. That should be included into that. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
And the field types we can just fill in, right? So this way, now the client may come up to you and say that, oh hey, you know what, this way is you are managing this project management app. Now there can be a few features. So first is the data model, right? We come up with the data model. Then we come into the features part, that how the flow will be and all that stuff, right? Let's say before the expected end date of the project, 1 week prior to that you want to send an email to the project lead. That can be a workflow, email alert, right? Or whenever there is a task which is created with a consultant on this, that consultant should receive an email saying that, hey, this task has been assigned to you. So there can be a new task which has been assigned. So those things can be there. Expected end date of a project cannot be within 3 days from the start of the project. So minimum duration of a project has to be 3 days. That can be a validation rule. Got that thing? So those things will come secondary. So first thing that we need to focus on is the data model. If you understand the data model, you almost understand most of the projects. You will find it very easy to understand anything, right? It's like understanding the base structure of the application. The moment we deal with any application or we start designing an application, we don't go by words. The biggest problem is that when you learn application thing, you are more talking about the words which are written there or what the client is speaking, right? But as a good functional consultant or as a good developer, your complete understanding should be about the data structure. So when a client comes to me and he starts giving me a requirement, I start thinking of things in terms of the data structure. The client says, okay, can I send an email based on the project? I would not go by what the word client and project. I have to understand what kind of a relationship do we have here. Okay, is it the parent, is the child, can this work or not, right? More you start understanding the data model, I think you will do very, very well. I mean, that helps you in admin stuff also. If you are required to do some reporting, if you are required to import the data, Let's say, the client says that, okay, fine, we have all the data in some database and we want to move everything into Salesforce. As an administrator, you have got one Excel spreadsheet for clients, the other Excel spreadsheet for project. Let's say they have given you 5 Excel spreadsheets. You are an administrator and they said, move all this data into Salesforce. Which one should you upload first, clients or projects? Think of it and tell me. Out of these 5, which one will you upload first?
Clients. Clients.
Paige says projects and Cecily says clients. So, Parthesh, what is the logic? Why do you think projects will be uploaded first? And Cecily, why do you think clients should be uploaded first?
Alright, so I guess because the project is the main base of the entire entity, so I guess it's probably easier to start from the main and then go down as it comes up. I don't know, that's my understanding.
Okay, good. Cecily, what is your logic? Why did you say clients first?
Because I'm looking at my business, how my business is relating to my customers, and based on that is what I thought clients.
Okay. No. All right. I'll give you a simple answer. The answer is these are related objects, right? This and this has a relationship. This has a relationship. Now, out of these, which is parent, which is child? Out of projects and clients, which is parent and which is child?
The projects looks like the parent.
Is it? Just because it is listed first, project is the child. Yeah. One client can have multiple projects. Yeah. Client is the parent, project is the child.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
One client can have multiple projects. So now the parent should come first or the child? Definitely the parent, right? So if you understand this data model structure, your importing activity becomes very simple, right? So data management, reporting, everything becomes simple the moment you start understanding this thing. How will you look into the data structures or the schemas of the existing apps? Have you seen the schema builder?
Yeah, I have.
Anyone else who has seen schema builder? Schema builder is within Salesforce for the objects which are already present in Salesforce, but that is only after you create an object on Salesforce. What we do is, when the client has a concept, before we even start developing anything, we start with this kind of an Excel spreadsheet. List down everything, think of the relationships, everything. Now your life will become so easy. Okay. If you have said that, okay, fine. You need to define a validation rule based on the client. You can look into the database and figure out that, okay, fine, if it is possible or not, looking at the type of relationship that we have, right? So this is, basically what you would start with. Now, once you have this part, if you understand this part, then rest of the stories you can easily formulate, or you can, just look into those app exchange things and everything, and then you can start working on those. So data model concept is okay. So you start with this concept, with building the data model for any project. So I'm going to give you projects, and the way you guys came up with the projects, your own concepts, I think Navjot came up with a concept and he was talking more on what is the other thing that you were talking about, the prime number or something, the pricing, right? So how will that be tracked? You would think of that part. The general things also there, but you would also need to think how do you track that, because approval is required for that part and all, right?
I know.
So you'll have to start thinking of what all objects you need, what all fields will be need, what is the prime number, what all fields are there required for prime number. I mean, I'm not very much aware of that thing, but you need to start thinking on those lines.
Okay.
The same way
I got it.
Parthesh was talking about this restaurant management app, and he said that we deal with vendors. So you need a table. So for vendor management, you need an object where you have all the vendors listed, their phone numbers and all that stuff listed. So maybe you can have the vendors, and then he talked about the salaries. then you may need to have all the employees listed and their payment details need to be listed there, right? And then their pay slips need to be tracked, okay, that the employee has been paid for this month or not, that record gets generated, that sort of thing. So we start thinking on those lines. In this app also, project management app, so far it's fine. So we have designed a simple app, but you can make it more complex. Now the client says that, okay fine, you have designed an app which helps me manage the project's clients, that's absolutely fine. How do you help me do the billing to the clients? Now this is where you need to track the number of hours. And then you can have a billing rate here. I mean, this is just drilling down. I mean, there is a lot which can be done on this app, right? So it just does not have to be a small simple app. Number of hours per task, right? And total hours spent, which can be a what is that field called? Roll-up summary. So it can be a roll-up summary from tasks. Should be sum of all the hours from all the tasks, right? Billing rate should come from here.
Jeet, we cannot see your screen.
Can you see it now? Sorry.
Yeah, now we can see it.
Yeah. So now if the client says, if your customer wants that they should be able to do the billing information also from here, then you'll have to extend it. How many hours per task, what is the billing rate per hour for this project, and what is the total number of hours which have been spent, and then there should be an invoicing system. Do an invoice, okay, and have the invoice ID, invoice for which project, and then which client, date of the invoice, right? Amount. So this amount should be equal to total hours into the billing rate See this? So now this way you can also track the billing information. Now the client says, okay, fine, we also want to track how much do we need to pay to the consultants. Then there can be another object which can track those details and all that stuff. So the more you get into this data model, you will start understanding the application very clearly. Things will start becoming very clear and simple for you, right? So that is there. Got the concept? Now, based on this concept that we have discussed and based on your own concepts that you guys came up with, I'm going to assign one project to each one of you. So there can be 2 or 3 people who work on the same project. That is also pretty much possible. So we'll start with Navjot. So Navjot, I want you to work on an app for telecom.
Okay.
So for concepts, we will go to App Exchange, okay, and use the concepts from the App Exchange and then come up with the data model. All right, use the App Exchange concept, see what all things need to be tracked, what all they are trying to put there. Let me just go to App Exchange and see what do we have here for telecom. So industry wise we can go and go to communications. Communication is the industry, right? Yeah. Or if you are very specific about any particular category, you don't want to design something for sales, rather you would want to design about an IT and admin or human resource management, you can go for that thing also, or you straight away go to communication industry and see what all apps are available. Try to get some concept from there and think of what kind of an app would you want to design. Now, yesterday we were at a position where I just told you just go and think. Now you have a place where you can get a lot of those ideas.
Oh, I got it.
So you can think now there are two types of segregations. Either we are talking about the industries or we are talking about the different departments, right? Sales, marketing, customer support. So you just have to think that okay, fine, for this industry this is the kind of app which I'm going to design. All right. So
Okay.
and then start thinking on the data model part of it and all right. In case you do not want to work on telecom, you want to work on some other industry, you can say pick that one also. So are you comfortable working on the telecom thing, or you want to pick something else from here?
I think telecom is good. I think I have worked in telecom and insurance as well. So those are my. I think telecom is good.
You start with the telecom thing, okay? Anyone who wants to join him on this project? So if someone who wants to join in this project can absolutely come and join. So two people can always work on the same project. For Parthesh, I think you start with start thinking on what is your choice or what is your preference? Restaurant management kind of a thing. You want to work on that? We do not know whether we will have any as such app here. As we can see. Retail.
Maybe a retail. This is kind of like a retail business related.
See, this is something very close to what exactly you wanted. A bait restaurant manager. Now, let's read a little about this, what exactly this talks about, what this app provides. And good thing is, a lot of them do have a free trial version available. Some of them are free forever. Some of them have a free trial version available, right?
Okay.
So you can always try it for free for some time. Sometimes that will be written here. Okay, table side ordering platform aim to deliver expanded sales and increase profits to the margins. Okay, this system is unique because it brings customer intelligence. All right. If you are lucky, you will get the data model of the app also. See, a bit restaurant manager overview, can open this sheet, and so you will in your resume you are maximum gonna put 2 or 3 projects. So you can spend 2-3 hours figuring out things for one project. That's absolutely fine. Okay, there are 2 products that they are offering. Restaurant manager and table manager. You start looking into this, sometimes you will get a fair understanding of things from looking into the video or so. Show a few screenshots of their app, but these guys are pretty smart, they have not given screenshots. See, here they are talking about, let me close this one. I think watch a demo is available here. Yeah, this is a big one. Reservation, table management, email engagement, point of sale, analytics, inventory management. So managing inventory is one of the features on this. Okay. Seat number and all these things are being tracked here. This is more of the analytics stuff. Alright, so if you want you can pick it up, or do you have something else that you want to do? You can take retail as well, right?
Okay.
And start working on that part.
Okay. So we just have to create a chart right now, right? We're not building our app right now.
See, basically what we're going to do here is we are, the prime concept is that pick up a concept or a project scenario which you want to include in your resume, okay, and then think of that, understand that scenario properly so that you can speak about that during your interview, right? Why I'm saying this for one scenario, because during our sessions I just want you to pick one scenario, think about it, we can talk about that, and you can come up with this data model. If you are done with this data model, and if you just come up with the list of things that you want to put, a few validations, a few workflows, I think you're good.
Okay.
So that will help you, talk about that project during your interview. So at this point of time, pick the concept and then think of the data model, right? In case you are not able to work on the concept that is being initially assigned to you, we can change it also. I'll just see the progress, how you actually come up with that. If we see that, okay, stuck at somewhere and you feel that, okay, fine, there's something which I cannot understand at all, you can always change it also, right? So that's it. But provided you guys, continue to work on that. For Cecily, would you, try and design something similar to job science? Because you had done enough of studying on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, but job science is something else. You have understood the concept that they have. What I want you to do is I want you to design the data model for that kind of an application. Can be done?
I just wanted to ask if I think you were talking to Parthesh about whether he's doing the restaurant app, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to do the restaurant or the retail? Because I was interested in the restaurant if he's not picking it up.
So you both can also work on that. I mean, it's absolutely fine.
Because I feel you have provided me the data model pretty out here, which is kind of similar to what I should be looking at, right?
For the job science?
Yeah.
No. Job science is different. Recruiting is different. Staffing is different.
Okay, let me go for recruiting then.
Yeah. So
I'll do it.
Yeah. So I mean, you can definitely get into the restaurant thing also. Even if Parthesh is working, you can also continue to work on that if you feel that that is interesting. And there is no one who is saying you that you can just work on two things. And it takes 2-3 hours to be spent on one app concept, right? And then we can compare, what you both come up with, and then you can have a nice thing, combining the concepts of both of you. We get to see some competition.
I'll go for the recruiting. I'll do the recruiting.
Recruiting? Okay. No restaurant?
Yeah, I'll do it.
No restaurant?
What did you say, Ji?
I said no restaurant. Recruiting?
No, I'll do the recruiting first and then let
see if
me
you have
think about it.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounded more interesting, that's why.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that is there. I think we have Sharan here. So Sharan, which app you want to design? Do you want to pick up something else? I'm asking you this question because today you did not come with any concept. So you want to pick any one of these, or you want to take up something else?
I would like to do in finance.
Finance. Okay. So what kind of an app on finance you want to look into? Bills, payables, receivables, that sort of things?
Like payables.
Because I'm very weak in the finance section. So okay, here we have a category for finance. You can look into this, and you can come up with a concept that okay, fine, this kind of an app is going to be accounting, payment, time and expense. I think accounting is the one that you are more interested in, right?
Yeah.
That's really good. Now the best part is that if we are all of us collectively are working on, or put together, if you come up with 4 or 5 apps, each one of you get to see 5 apps. If Navjot is designing a telecom app, others are also looking into that, right? End of the day, we are going to share the concepts with everyone. So one app you will design, 2 more apps you can always copy from others. Fine. So in that way you can put 3-4 apps total in your resume. Got that thing, right? So one you put time in and two you pick up from your friends. Any two that you like. So this is good. I think Sharan is gonna come up with an accounting app. So take help from the App Exchange, Sharan. That will help you a lot. We have a lot of accounting apps here.
Yeah.
Some of them are free. The ones which are free, you can directly install them on your developer org, and you can start looking into the database also. Then you don't have to worry about anything, right? But you have to design it on your own as well. It's not just about installing the app. You have to design it as well. Okay. Then we have Xiaxian here. How about you?
I'm going to do the marketing agency fees.
Marketing agency. All
The
right.
data collecting model.
All right. So you pick this concept. That's fine. All right. So come up with the data model, everyone. And we have Paulina also. Yeah, Paulina. Which concept you want to pick? Did I miss on?
I was thinking about something along the line of consulting firm.
Wow. Consulting would mean what kind of consulting projects?
It could be like for small to mid-sized businesses and helping them out. There were two that I had in mind. One I was going to steal from my brother's company. They actually do consulting for produce, the local produce, and they go out to different supermarkets and they kind of sell that. That's a total different concept, but I was thinking of consulting on any like small to mid-sized businesses, who are just taking off and who go out as consultant for finance or go out to for different things, different business models.
All right. So you just come up with that initial concept and all, and then you can start building on that app also, right? So come up with the data model thing and everything. Okay. Before you get into the data model, there is another thing that I want to tell you. Restaurant manager or retailer. You will pick one of these concepts. Okay. So before you get into this data model, there's another thing that you have to do. So yesterday I asked you guys to come up with a one-page requirement document. Okay. So because now here you are the client and you are the consultant, right? So you're doing a dual role play. So what you have to do, first of all, in a notepad, start writing all your requirements. Okay. If spend 10-15 minutes into writing down that this is what I expect from my app. Okay. Then things will become easier for you. All right. Then your life will become easier. Then designing this thing will be easier for you. I'll just show you one of the sample requirements from my client that will help you understand things a lot better. One minute. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the best thing is if you can just define the requirement of the app. Why do you need that app? What help is required from that app? What is expected out of that app? if you try to define that first, that will help you a lot in designing the app. Like there are a few examples which I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna share these links with you. So this is a complete requirement. So this is basically an idea enabler system for 3Cubes INC. Okay, so this is how their requirement is. It's a company, and they just want ideas to come in from their employees, right? So users should be able to create accounts for each division within 3Cubes in there to keep a track of how many ideas are generated from each division, right? So which division is generating how many ideas, that needs to be tracked. User should be able to create contacts. The custom idea object should capture. So there is an object called idea that should capture the idea title, contact who has submitted the idea. So see, in a way, this is defining the complete thing about idea object. That it should contain the idea title, contact who submitted the idea, the account to which he or she belongs to, brief description of the idea, date of submission, this phase, right? So if you also try to define a few bullet points in this way, each contact should have following fields. So contact should have these fields, this kind of a report. So don't get into report and all that stuff. Stay focused till the data model part. What all things are required, what data is required to be tracked. So this is one example. If you read this, you will get a lot of understanding of what sort of bullet points you need to write for your project. Okay. Second is this case management app for 3Cubes. Okay, they develop various kinds of chipsets, and these chipsets work with these companies and all. So 3Cubes is a dummy company actually. My actual client name has not been displayed here. So for that chipsets, they receive certain cases and issues. So how they want that thing to be tracked, and how they want those things, that cases, to be managed using a Salesforce app. The concepts defined here. Okay, so if you can write these few bullet points, that will help you a lot. Okay, got that thing? Are we clear on that? Then we have idea enabler, we have a case management, we have more here. Yeah, then we have a recruitment application thing also here. Okay, so that ways, right? Got the concept? So we have one application concept for recruitment also. I'm going to share these things with you, these 3 links with you. Just give me a moment. Okay, so here you can understand what sort of bullet points you need to write before you start designing the data model. Second thing is, you should get into designing the data models right away.
Jeet, so as of now we only have to develop, like create a data model, not the application, right?
See, if you have created the data model, once we finalize on that data model, then
Okay.
putting that in Salesforce will take hardly maybe 15-20 minutes. How long does it take for you to create the objects and fields in the Salesforce, right?
So we can start building the application as well, right?
You can start building, but my thing is, before you start building anything on Salesforce, your data model should get approved. Like, let's say you come up with a data model, and then we can just have a quick discussion on that. We can quickly look into that part.
Okay.
If there is
That's a good
something
idea.
which needs to be corrected, let's correct that, and then let us get into
I got you.
kind of designing the things on Salesforce.
Yeah, I got you, Jeet. Thanks.
Okay. And do you guys have my email ID by any chance?
No.
No. Nope.
I appreciate if you can share like.
Yeah, I would share the email ID here. It's contactjeetsingh@gmail.com.
Oh yeah. Contact.
Jeet, can you share today's meeting? Can you upload it, the recording? I was on the phone for half of the meeting. I kind of rushed back.
I will.
Because yesterday's and today's.
Yeah, I would do that. I would put it in the Dropbox. You guys share your, you have my email ID now. Just drop me a test email so that I can reply back to everyone. Anything that I feel like sharing, I can share using that. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So these 3 requirements that I just showed you, I'm just going to share the links for those as well. You read those requirements and try to create few bullet points for your requirement and then get into the data model thing. All right.
Okay.
So we have one concept defined for everyone, and then let's see who is working, who is able to design the best of the apps.